Thank you for being here for this tutorial on Handheld Contact API. So once we get inside here, again, I have both my iPhone and the iPad up on the screen, but I want to walk through some of the settings available to you once you get into this software. To get into the settings, you'll notice there's three little lines up in the top left-hand corner. That's called a hamburg. In case you never heard that called that, it's called a hamburg. I'm going to click on the hamburg. And now I have an option here that says settings. I'm going to click on that. When I click on settings, I have more options. I'm going to go through most of these in this tutorial, but not all of them. Some of the account info, like the handheld contact account info, the Act account info, I'm going to ignore that for right now because that's sort of private stuff and you can take a look at that on your own. But the third one down, the startup screen, we can tell Act which of the 5 primary screens that are available to you we want to start up with. I like the dashboard. I have no problem with that. If you decide you want to do something different, just select it and then click back. Next, map. What map do we want to use? Do we want to use the Apple map or the Google map? I'm going to click on Google, choose that. I'm going to go back down now to the Act setting. Now, to be honest with you, sometimes I get in here, I'm like, wait a minute, what is that? I honestly am not sure what that does, so I'm going to get back to you on that, as I will on a couple of these other options with separate tutorials. Contacts. If I click on Contacts, we have some options here. What do we want to see? What extension do we want to see? Do we want to insert or wait automatically, pause automatically? Now, I believe, and again, I'm going to get back to you, this has to do with dialing out a phone number. Custom share setup. One of the things you can do with this is you can share a contact. So let's say you want to share a contact with a colleague. You can decide what information you want here. And over on the right-hand side, if you want to share the mobile number, just click on mobile number, name, and just whatever information is relevant that you want to share with that person. I'm going to click back. I'm going to click back to, actually, one of the options is reset contact settings. We're not going to do that here. I'm going to click back. Okay, history. Text messages. This is sort of interesting. You can send text messages with your iPad. Do you want to do that? Well, do you want to save them? I'm going to click to save those text messages that are related to a contact. And then I'm going to click back. Scheduling and preferences. This is a lot of just your general preference, but when it says type, I'm going to click on type and I can choose, okay, what's the thing I schedule the most? Well, me personally, I schedule mostly meetings, so I'm going to choose meeting as the default. The priority, well, you know, it's always a high priority if it's a meeting. The alarm, I always want the alarm to be 30 minutes beforehand. The duration of a meeting, most of my meetings are 1 hour long, so I'm going to choose 1 hour by using the little scroll wheel, click done, and now I've set it for 1 hour or 60 minutes. Timeless is if you don't want it to be a specific time, but everything you do by default is set so that it just comes up on your list, but not at a specific time. The set clear date, time as an act, I'm going to say yes to that. And then the schedule with will be, who do you schedule it with? Is it with the contact you're on right now? So if you're physically on a contact, it makes sense who you want to schedule it with. Or you can do it with the My Record, which is all of your contact information. I'm going to click cancel because it's always going to be the selected contact. I'm going to click back. Okay, sync schedule. Really key here. The sync schedule, I do recommend you turn on auto sync. And auto sync can be set up for different time preferences. So for example, weekdays you can do every 10 minutes, 15, 1 hour, or 5 minutes, or you can do no sync. You can do it manually. Weeknights, weekends, typically every hour is more than adequate, and generally you could probably do it less depending on the nature of your business. I'm going to click Settings, Notifications and Alerts. How do I want my notifications? Do I want daily alerts? Yes, no, turn it on. What is the alert time? Maybe I want the alerts to come up at, say, 8 o'clock in the morning. So let's say I'm going to do it for 8 o'clock every morning. I'm just going to scroll down. Come on, my friend. There we go. I'm going to click Done. And now I'm inside upcoming alerts. How do I want to do that? I want to enable them. How far ahead? 1 day. Yeah, I think that works. I'm going to click done. And now I've set it for 1 day. Let's go back. Knowledge base. If I have questions, I can click on the knowledge base and I can type a question in right here in the knowledge base if you have questions on how things work. Contact support. Here you can send an email or use this form to send in information right from this area. I'm going to go back and click on settings, click on about, and that tells you your version of Handheld Contact API. I'm going to click close. So ladies and gentlemen, that's a rough overview of some of the settings and some of the options. And now I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Thank you very much. Have a great day.